Have you been told you need to stop doing what you love, whether it's exercise, running, or a sport? Well, here at Dynamic, we don't like that answer. In this podcast, we'll talk to leaders in the health and wellness space from Southwest Florida to get the solutions you need to get you back to doing what you love. Welcome to the Dynamic Naples Podcast. What's going on, Southwest Florida? I just want to give you guys a couple theories that I stumbled across when it comes to diet and nutrition. As you know, I'm going through my functional medicine education and been listening to some podcasts with Chris Kresser and some of his guests, and a couple theories that I want to touch on. One is protein leverage theory. Another is the triage theory. So the protein leverage theory, there's some studies on it that kind of confirm it, and I just think this one just makes absolute sense. I feel like I don't even need to see studies on this. So the idea is protein, you get your macros: proteins, carbs, lipids, right? Those are your main macronutrients. Carbs are non-essential. Lipids and proteins are essential. Proteins really are amino acids. Those are the building blocks of life. Basically, most of your, if not all of your cells, are built from amino acids. So we absolutely need amino acids / proteins. And the theory here is that you will basically eat and you won't be satiated until you've hit sort of your target protein that you need for your personal body and all the mechanisms of your body. So if you are eating a diet that's low in protein, you're going to naturally consume more calories just to get to that target protein. And, with this idea in mind is that this might be leading to obesity epidemic. Let's say you have a diet that's mostly fruits, vegetables, breads. It's hard to get to that point to get enough protein in you to basically survive. Not only thrive, but survive. And I also think, and I haven't even Googled this, I'm sure these theories already out there, but I think there's the same thing for micronutrients as well. Micronutrients are absolutely vital. Most of the issues we have are due to micronutrient deficiency because we need micronutrients, so all the enzymes, coenzymes, cofactors, we need those things, the vitamins and minerals, to run the Krebs cycle that's in the mitochondria. So all of your energy and cellular metabolism comes from the mitochondria that sit inside your cells. They're basically little bacteria that they have a lot of functions, but they produce energy. So once you sort of run out of energy supplies, your lifespan starts to dwindle. So I think the same thing is true with the micronutrients. If you're not eating enough, let me rephrase that. If your diet is devoid of micronutrients, it's going to take a lot of calories to get the micronutrients you need just to satisfy the daily need of your cells, your mitochondria. And we're kind of at a disadvantage these days because the soil has been depleted of nutrients. I think it takes something like 8 oranges nowadays to get the same amount of vitamin C that you would like 20, 30 years ago. We have a supply chain. So it's not like, if you're smart, you're buying from your local farmer. That's great. You're getting a lot of nutrients. But if you're getting some fruit that doesn't normally harvest in your area, that you have to get shipped from China or South America, it's going to sit in a truck and sit there and it's going to lose a whole bunch of nutrients. And then the other part, too, is pesticides. So a lot of our foods, crops are sprayed with glyphosate and things that basically not only are terrible for our health, but they'll also inhibit nutrient absorption. So you've got all those things working against you. So even if you are, quote-unquote, eating clean, you still might not be getting enough micronutrients to really thrive. And this kind of ties into this other theory that I think is really cool called triage theory. So this theory comes from Dr. Bruce Ames. This guy has been a contributor to science for a long time. He's 94, actually. He is a molecular biologist, but he's had a number of career changes in the science world, and it kind of gives him a unique perspective. And he's able to sort of zoom out and think of things in a big picture. So he came up with this idea and coined the term triage theory. The word triage means to sort. So this comes from World War I, where the limited physicians that were available had to decide what to do with injured soldiers. Some were, sent off to palliative care, some to surgery. That was their way of sorting who was going to survive or not. So this term works pretty well for his theory, and I'll explain why. So in this case, we're talking about micronutrients and how your body uses them. So first of all, quickly, macros are your fats, your carbs, your lipids. Micros are all your vitamins and minerals. So we're talking about the micros. So according to Dr. Ames, you can kind of put them into two buckets, survival or longevity. So, longevity has been the hot topic lately, and so maybe we're missing a piece here. So as the theory goes, the body will prioritize survival over longevity. So basically, the body will ration the micronutrients it needs to avoid things like rickets or beriberi. And then the leftovers used for things that promote longevity, such as DNA. So if we're deficient, the processes that promote longevity will be sacrificed for survival. So that's how the theory goes. So if this is correct, then, the recommendations a moderate deficiency may not kill us, may not give us disease, but is that going to reduce our lifespan and reduce things like the telomeres and the DNA? So there's about 40 micronutrients that we know of that are required to sustain life. And most of the reference ranges reflect a minimum to survive, but is that the optimal? Are these the levels we need to survive, to thrive, not just survive? So let's look at vitamin K. So vitamin K has several functions, and one of the key functions is coagulation, which is vital for life. So in other words, if you get a cut, the wound needs to coagulate to heal, so you need vitamin K for that coagulation. If that doesn't happen, then you bleed out and die. So however, vitamin K is also very important for calcium transport. So calcium is important for the bones and the teeth. However, just taking a calcium supplement is probably not a good idea because the calcium can end up in the tissue and bloodstream, and that can cause calcification of the arteries if we don't have enough vitamin K to transport it. So we have just enough vitamin K, we can survive a wound, but that's the lower limit for survival. If we accept that lower limit, we risk calcification of the arteries. So we should be asking not only how much do we need to survive, but how much do we need to thrive. If you want to check out a sort of updated, reliable source of information on micronutrients, you can check out the Linus Institute. I'll put that in the show notes. Why guess when you can test? Do you get hangry or crash after a carb-heavy meal? These could be indicators that there is a dysfunction in your blood glucose regulation. If left unchecked, it can lead to irreversible changes. If you catch it quick enough, you can make diet and lifestyle changes that will get your levels where they need to be. 88% of Americans are pre-diabetic and don't know it. Diabetes underpins many of the pathologies we deal with in this country, such as obesity, high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. For some reason, it is rarely screened with your physician, and if they do test for blood glucose, it's usually with an A1C or a fasting glucose, which can sometimes give you a false negative. NutriSense is a company that supplies continuous glucose monitors. We paired with NutriSense to get you real-time data to see how your physiology responds to glucose. The NutriSense app lets you track your daily activity to see how food, sleep, exercise, and stress impact your glucose. You can log or import this data into the NutriSense app to see the effect on your blood glucose levels as soon as it happens. Use the code DrChris25 for $25 off your order today. Do you have unexplained pain, or do you wonder just how healthy you are? When was the last time you had your blood tested? Blood chemistry analysis is a great tool to stay ahead of any health conditions, and now you can have control of your health with Let's Get Checked. Let's Get Checked is an incredible company that sends blood tests to your home. You can choose from over 30 different tests, whether that's thyroid function, testosterone, micronutrient, cholesterol, or C-reactive protein, which is a marker for inflammation. It is sent to you with free shipping, and you get your results in 2 to 5 days. No physician referral needed. Use the code DPT25 for 25% off. You can find links in the show notes. Did you know that you can get started with physical therapy without a physician's referral? Physical therapists don't just solve pain, we get down to the root cause and keep it from coming back. We also discuss all things health, such as nutrition and lifestyle changes. If you feel that you could use some help, let's get on a free consult call. Go to www.dynamicnaples.com and sign up for a free call. Also, if you like this podcast, please give us a rating wherever you listen to podcasts. It helps us spread the message. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.